So hello everyone from my end as well. I think it's very inspiring, hopefully, to all of you, and to listen to all these amazing talks and presentations. So while you're listening to these, think of maybe applying for some of the awards. And you may not be aware that though there is a Committee for Scientific Affairs and Awards, the Committee for Research is also managing a few awards, and two of those are actually given to presentations during the annual meeting. So as this meeting is going on, the committee members are busy listening and evaluating your poster and oral presentations. So you may eventually end up being an awardee for this conference after the conference has ended. So it is my great pleasure to now introduce the Best Poster Award, awarded last year at our meeting in Portugal, and the award goes to Beatriz Ruiz from Spain, and she will tell us briefly about her studies on infant botulism in the area of southern Spain around Andalusia.
Good morning. Thank you very much to the committee for this award. I have nothing to disclose. And as you probably know, infant botulism is a neuroparalytic disorder that affects children younger than 12 months and is caused by the ingestion and germination of Clostridium botulinum spores producing botulinum neurotoxin in the colon. In Europe, it's a rare disorder, and urgent treatment with human-specific immunoglobulin, known as baby big, is the current standard of care. However, its high cost and lack of availability are limiting factors in our setting. The aim of our study was to analyze the epidemiology and management of infant botulism cases on the last 26 years in Andalusia, and therefore we performed a retrospective multicenter study of infant botulism cases detected in Andalusia, southern Spain, since 1997. In red, you can see the region of Andalusia in southern Spain. We detected a total of 21 cases, and 2/3 of those cases were detected in the second period of the study, as you can see in this graphic. The median age was 3 months, and the clinical presentation was the typical for infant botulism, with constipation, hypotonia, weak cry, poor feeding, and in almost 80% also a reactive mydriasis. 76% of the patients presented alteration in the neurophysiological study, and microbiological diagnosis was confirmed in all the patients, in all the cases, by the analysis of the stool samples with the mouse biopsy or the culture. And also in 5 patients, toxin B was detected by PCR. Regarding treatment, only 2 patients received the specific human immunoglobulin known as baby big, and 43% of the patients received inspecific IVIG. 83 required nasogastric tube for feeding, and also 33% required mechanical ventilation. Half of the patients were admitted to PICU, and the median length of hospital stay was 18 days. Unfortunately, 1 patient with diagnostic of myopathy died. Interestingly, what we saw in our study is that those patients who received in a specific IVIG within 48 hours of admission had a median length of hospital stay shorter when compared with the rest of these patients, 11 days versus 19 days. Also, we wanted to look if antimicrobials could have an impact in the mean length of hospital stay, and we analyzed those data in the second period of the study, and we saw that those 7 patients who did receive antibiotics had a prolonged median mean length of hospital stay with 22 days in compared with those who did not receive antimicrobials with a mean on 4 days. So antibiotics really should be avoided in cases of infant botulism. And finally, we can conclude that since 2010, it seems that there has been an increase of infant botulism cases in our region, that in a specific immunoglobulin could be an effective treatment, but further longer studies are required, and that broad-spectrum antibiotics should be avoided because they may cause progression of the patient's paralysis by lysing the Clostridium botulinum cells in the large bowel lumen, increasing the amount of neurotoxin available for absorption. Finally, I want to thank all the group of pediatric infectious diseases team of Andalusia for their collaboration and for the research studies we are conducting now. Thank you very much.
Beatriz. So I think last but not least, I'm thrilled to now announce the award for the best oral presentation awarded last year in Lisbon. And this award goes to Australia. And we'll hear from Rana Sawires about her presentation on Kawasaki disease. And this is still a very interesting topic, and we don't know what really causes Kawasaki disease. So they've done investigations as to how viruses and the exposure to those may play a role in Kawasaki disease. So I'm pleased to ask you on stage.
Hi everyone, it's an honor to be with you all. My name's Rana, I'm a doctor working in Melbourne, Australia, and today I have the pleasure of presenting my project Time and Space Cadets, which was a sub-study of my PhD project SnotWatch. So what is SnotWatch? SnotWatch is a novel ecological platform that we designed to observe community exposures and community clinical presentations and determine if there were any associations between the two in both time and space. And for this particular study, we looked at respiratory viruses with relation to Kawasaki disease. We chose Kawasaki disease because this elusive illness has long been proposed to have an infective trigger, but no single cause has been identified. Under the platform of SnotWatch, we would be able to collate a large volume of data for this rare incident disease, but with the granularity of the spatial component, we would have both power and accuracy to any study findings. Lastly, I was eager to join the hearty debate about the relationship between Kawasaki disease and PIMS-TS by analysing any links between Kawasaki disease and COVID-19 infections. Our study was conducted in Victoria, Australia, which is a state of approximately 7 million people, and our data was collated over a 10-year study period. Our Kawasaki disease data was obtained from a statewide admissions dataset, and we had over 1,000 presentations included. We also had over 150,000 respiratory PCR results from 2 large hospital networks in Victoria. These 2 datasets were then stratified by week of incidence and locations called statistical area 3s, which approximate to a postcode or a zip code. When we temporally graphed out our data, we found that we could demonstrate similar patterns in Kawasaki disease incidence and the circulation of human metapneumovirus and RSV. And then when we added the spatial component, our statistical analysis could quantify this, demonstrating a 43 to 52% increase in Kawasaki disease incidence with relation to peak RSV and human metapneumovirus seasons before the pandemic. We found no associations between Kawasaki disease and respiratory viruses during the pandemic years, and specifically none with SARS-CoV-2, suggesting that it may in fact be independent from PIMS-TS. So from here, it's important to demonstrate whether the associations we found in this study are actually causal. And similarly, we would have to further explore whether what proportion of Kawasaki disease is actually attributable to human metapneumovirus and RSV. It's also been 3 years since the end of the study, and so it would be interesting to rerun the analysis and determine whether the associations found pre-pandemic are still true today, or whether COVID-19 has kind of changed the landscape of virus circulation. And lastly, we hope that the findings of this study and all SnotWatch studies can be used to guide preventive public health policy regarding vaccine administration and resource allocation. I'd like to thank all of these wonderful people for their work on the project, and thank you for listening.